Jacob,
Welcome back.
episode 104.
Back at it.
Gosh.
Cooking.
We're going to do another Written by You series because we're going to knock out the queue, and we had a good time with the last episode.
Guys, so funny. Submit your stories below. There's an anonymous link. It's fully anonymous, unless you mention your name, which a lot of people do.
Unless you mention a Tony Scott with Magic Moments or a Cindy and Mark with LL Photography.
People were dropping names last week.
They were.
I'm all for it.
Submit some hot takes, too. Those are always fun.
I'm all
Gives us
for
something
it.
to react to.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes those hot takes are so specific, you just would have never thought of it until someone brings it up. And you're like, I noticed that.
I agree.
What's the thing that you hate that when people talk to?
Oh, I don't even know how to explain it. I'll call it out next time you do it.
Okay, please do.
I tried to avoid it in the last week. I was noticing. I'll call it out. Okay, so this week, starting off with a vendor nightmare, you guys. So first of all, we love reading these stories by you guys, mainly because we can't tell our own stories because our faces are attached to it. And but things just happen on a wedding day. Like bad things happen, mainly good things happen.
Mainly.
And I think the reason these are so funny is because weddings are mostly beautiful. But there's a lot of these funny behind the scenes things that not even brides know about, and I just get a kick.
Nor
out of
should they
reading
know
this
about.
stuff.
Yeah.
No. Now they will.
But here we are.
So this was during, this is a story written by, not me. This was during my first year of videography. I was using a micro SD card and the larger SD adapter for my camera.
Oh, man.
During the first look, in which I had one on a tripod and one on my gimbal, the micro SD card stopped recording on the tripod camera, so I only had the gimbal angle. I then figured out what a read and write speed was.
Yeah.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah. You don't.
I've actually always wondered if that worked. I
think
was
it does.
And I remember thinking, like, what idiot would ever try that? So,
I mean, I am curious. Like this micro SD we're using for the Roadcaster is a 256 gigabyte V60.
dang.
So I think it would work. I don't know though.
But I think you lose something when you put it through an adapter because the
Do you?
Because the speed is now gone. You're now
Oh, I see what you're saying. The adapt because it's going to be
it's like
adapter
using
speed.
a crappy USB-C cable with a great SSD.
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
like the transfer is going to be awful.
So are there adapters that are V90,
I don't think
V60?
so.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, read and write speeds are very real.
Just buy. Yeah. I mean, you'll learn first year.
First
I
year.
won't be too harsh. I did call you an idiot though.
Yeah, he didn't mean it.
I meant it fully.
We've all learned. Okay, videographer awkward moment. I'm filming at this venue that I've been to before, but I don't like it that much. We all have those.
It's not the worst. Like
No, it really is.
imagine like working in a corporate office and you just
And you actually hate it every single day. You just
day.
sit there. Yeah. On this day, I'm a solo video, and there are two photographers. When dinner is served, an individual from the venue staff asks the media team, we were all sitting down at the vendor table, the couple only purchased 2 vendor meals. Yeah, my second photographer will be heading home soon. Venue staff member walks away. Media team starts chatting about how it's a buffet, and one more plate really wouldn't matter because they have so much food. The second photographer was going to leave anyway, but the comment from the venue staff was like, bruh, what? Then after the second photographer leaves, same venue staff member comes back and asks, did your second photographer leave? Yes, they did.
Okay.
What was the resolve?
Who's penny pinching buffet lines?
No, I don't know,
gosh.
dude. At that moment, if I'm being honest, I'm eating from the buffet. I'm just...
Yeah. Yeah, I think Uncle Tom with, the 4 servings
Yeah.
can be okay with just
Yeah. And all that food goes to waste, too.
3. So stupid.
Here's something I got for
I
you,
hate
Jacob.
cheap. Go for it.
You and I can relate to this. When we were really in those first, year and a half of Runaway Vows and trying to break into the luxury market, we were really, really in our heads about everything we did, right? How we dressed, how we smiled, if we laughed, yes, sir, no, ma'am, One of those things for me is eating at the reception, okay? Now, we've beat it to death, whether you should be fed on a wedding day. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, is it unprofessional to eat during the reception around guests or drink? Before you answer that, I will say I thought it was, okay? I thought it was. And I'll always remember going and shooting at Fountain Blue with Lindsay and Cherish at Runaway from La Rev. And we get into this elevator with Colin Cowie, and we're just like, stick up our butt. We're not moving, not smiling. Lindsay walks in, yo, Colin, what's up, man? And we're just like, oh my gosh, this is top luxury, and it's so casual. And then throughout the years, I remember we were shooting with Emma one time, and I just needed something to eat, and so I ate something, and there were guests around. Emma was like, oh, how could you? Okay, but as we've gone on,
Did she really?
She was horrified that I ate something in front of guests. Like I just picked it off a plate and just. It was our food though too. It was our food, and it was sitting on the table, and like it wasn't our time.
Amigos.
And I was running to get our gear, and I grabbed something and I ate it, and she was like, oh. But anyway, at multiple weddings that we have shot for people, I've seen people that we look up to order stuff from the bar. They're just picking stuff out of the food that's passing by with the appetizers, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know.
I think it just like it's a boring answer, but it just depends on the event.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's just one of those things. Like it's what's the vibe, and also where do I stand? Because if I'm there, and like we all know, there's a hierarchy of vendors, and so sometimes like when we're there, and I feel like we're at the bottom of the totem pole, I'm really just kind of following the lead of everyone around me. So if the photographers are eating or drinking, and the planner says go get a drink, or the bride, but like if I'm not like that comfortable yet, I'll probably wait.
That's how I am.
But if it's like friends of ours, and you know we know like we're one of the VIP vendors at the event, and it's kind of a little bit more casual, I'll never feel bad about going to get a Coke or something. Same. But like I think it's the events where I'm the new guy there, where I wait to see what the vibe is, and if the photographers aren't eating, I won't eat.
Yeah. Same.
But also, if the couple tells me go eat, I'm honestly gonna drop everything I'm doing and follow that direction and say okay.
No, like because for me, it's always like the people walking around with the white gloves with the tray of the appetizers, and they're just walking around to guests, and they walk up to you like, "Do you want this?" And I'm like, "Do I? I don't know.
I think I should.
To
know how to film it better. I think it's market research. Let me take that mozzarella stick and
I definitely sometimes like get the shot, and I'm like, "What is it? Great."
I see what you're saying. I think. Yeah,
I agree. It just depends. Every bride and groom is different.
Yeah, I can think of examples of weddings I've been at where I'm like, I wouldn't have eaten there. I would have eaten there.
Like a good example is one of ours recently, Olivia and Adrian. Like, they were very friendly, and it was one of those weddings where they were just passing out appetizers, and they were just like, "Hey, did you try it?" Like, yeah, absolutely. And the planners were cool with it. So, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I was thinking like if.
But there's some weddings where I wouldn't dare, you know.
Right, it's weird.
I
can't really tell you why. It just kind of depends on the vibe.
You just gotta kind of have your ear to the ground.
The one thing I never feel bad about is grabbing water or a Coke from the bar.
Never.
But again, like if there's a line, what I think is weird is I don't like standing in line with the guests.
Yeah, I draw a line.
I'll only get a drink at the bar, like a Coke or an old fashioned or some hard liquor if there's no line.
Yeah, and if obviously nothing's going on.
Yeah,
right.
But I don't want to be like with guests and guests like you're in line or like guests behind me. I always feel weird that I'm like in front of a guest.
Yeah.
So if like an empty bar, like I'm thinking about like a Becky and Miggs.
Yeah.
Like there's two bars, one was empty, and it was kind of this lull period. So we can grab a Diet Coke. But like I just think it's weird. I always feel weird when I'm in front of grandma. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you go first. But then I keep on doing that, and I never get my drink, and then I'm just wasting time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Read the room is the principle.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah, think about that one.
I was referred to this client from the photographer. In the planning process, my video team was asked to pick a meal from one of the options we were given. But the day of, the photographer didn't even get the same email to pick a meal. But it seemed funny. The video team was asked and the photo team wasn't. Photographer was happy with what the catering team had anyway. Okay.
All right.
My man really came onto our submission form to submit that story.
I'm joking. Hey, we appreciate it. Okay, this one is...
I mean, kind of cool that you got preference. $10 that email is in that photographer spam folder.
This one is very similar to the one we just read. Videographer vendor nightmares. Okay, so it's interesting.
Man, these are three of these are all. This must have came from a meal related podcast.
Well, the one that I just read, this one is very close to it, But it's worth noting the first videographer listed it as a category of awkward moments. This person listed it as a vendor nightmare.
Okay. Hit me.
I'm at this venue I dislike. Okay. Very similar. With a photographer I like. It's a buffet style dinner and we're served by the venue staff, so not a self-serve buffet. We're served tiny morsels of vegetables, ravioli, and pretty rare meat. Everything could have fit into a teacup saucer, but was served on this large dinner plate. Even the photographer commented on the size of the portion.
That's funny.
That sounds like a huge W, if I'm being honest.
Oh.
That you even got fed.
Sure.
And they got some rare meat? Oh, man, it sounds like a delicacy.
Sometimes, though, when you get fed and it's so small, it's almost a tease.
It does. It makes it's an insult. Yeah.
But then you just really crave Taco Bell.
I was about to say, yeah, there's times where you might just opt to not eat at all. I mean, it just makes the post-wedding Taco Bell just hit that much harder.
Next one is a vendor nightmare. Going to this wedding, the couple was fantastic. They were very sweet and knew exactly what they wanted. The bride was happy to have me have full creative control of the film other than one particular shot. She wanted her recessional walk after the kiss to be in slow motion. I do that anyways, because she was going to have flower petals for the guests to throw on them. We'll get back to this later. Which, by the way, my favorite form of recessional.
The flower petals?
It doesn't even compete with anything.
The flower petals are gorgeous.
And it's far and few between, but have guests, and don't give the first two rows. Give every row flower petals.
You want to know which one
You
want to know what I hate? Is like the not confetti, but the long like silver strand.
Awful.
Like that's because it doesn't flow and it just falls. Yeah.
Awful.
Gross. Anyway.
Later in the day, the bride was mic'd up because she and her fiance were about to share their private vows / first touch. I hate first touches.
Yeah, no.
While going through audio, I hear the bride in the car heading to the location with the coordinator say, for future brides, you guys should all communicate better and be easier to get in contact with.
What?
The coordinator just said, I'm sorry. The bride then says, I'm having to go to my videographer for everything because he's the only one taking this shit seriously. Oh, so she's giving
she's giving advice to the coordinator, yeah.
Later in the day, I mean, if there's one person you don't want to piss off during the day,
bride.
I'd say it's your coordinator. Oh. Well, bride too.
Yeah.
But Emma's trying to FaceTime us.
Emma is having a breakdown.
She heard that live... Okay, we'll call her after.
Yeah, no, she's been texting.
Later in the day, I'm waiting at the end of the aisle for the processional to start and noticed the guests did not have flower petals. I asked the coordinator about it, and she said no, she just wanted them on the ground to walk down the aisle on. I assured her that wasn't her vision, and she didn't care. The first thing the bride said when she came down was, "Where were my flowers?" Heartbroken, I brought all the guests back to their seats and gathered all the petals on the ground to distribute amongst them. We got the shot, and the bride tipped about half what I charged for the wedding and left the best review before getting any deliverables. Okay, I have a lot of thoughts about this. This goes against everything we teach, but I love it.
Yeah.
Because I could argue, I would say never would I recreate something so timeless and iconic as the recessional, right? That's a moment, capture it, how it happens. Mm-hmm. But the bride was so excited about one shot of her entire wedding day, and it didn't happen. And so the videographer went above and beyond the Chick-fil-A my pleasure mentality, the server mentality to say, like, I'm going to get this for you.
Yeah.
Got all the guests together, which... How hard is it to corral humans when they feel like they're done, right?
Right.
They're going to get drinks.
Yeah,
he brought them all back to did the recessional again, and the bride tipped him, is it 50% of his total package? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That to me is an exception of the rule of producing a moment because it's for the couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, that planner, that coordinator said, oh, she didn't want that as a self-justification because she forgot.
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, really good for you. I'm just trying to figure out, anything that, could have been avoided. But no, it sounded like from the videographer standpoint, did everything they could, and they went above and beyond. The coordinator, I don't know.
Poor coordinator.
Sounds like there was a lot more like there's more context to this. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder. I wonder how that one miscommunicated.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of tension between. I think also day of coordinators have just a hard job. Like you come in for one day,
and
and
you
to
don't know
execute a
everything.
bride's vision.
Yeah.
You don't know what you missed. But also, I think also knowing friends who have had day of coordinators, there's a lot of pre-plan that goes into it.
Yeah.
You don't walk in blinding at the timeline and say, "Okay, what am I doing today?" So, I mean, props to you for making it
great
work. And
Great work.
pleasing the client, and shame on the coordinator for not giving them a good experience.
Okay, this one is videographer awkward moments. I recently shot a wedding where I later learned the parents were paying for a lot of the 6-figure wedding. The parents wanted a lot of specific shots from the photographer, which she complied with. There were many comments and hints throughout the day that the couple didn't even want this wedding.
What do you mean? The wedding or the marriage?
Yeah, there's two distinctions there. But it's worse. Mid-reception party, the parents pulled them to get a few more specific family photos. The couple didn't want to do it. It then got heated, and the photographer overheard the father of the groom threaten to cancel the check to pay for the wedding. So they took the photos.
Sounds like an entitled, privileged young couple.
Couple or...
I think I'm siding with the parents on this one.
Oh, really? Please.
I mean, partially. I mean, I'm just thinking of if my mom...
I mean, I get it, yeah. If my parents are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, yeah.
You're also, it's a wedding, like, you want to enjoy it, you want to party, but, like, also, like, if your parents say, hey, I want to take some photos, I don't care how annoying they are. It's like, you know what?
It's true.
I'll go take this photo. I'll
It's
tell my
true.
photographer, hey, make this quick. I'm going to get back to cocktail hour.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But I also think the parents need to... It's not about them.
Right.
Take a step back.
Right. They do sound like those parents that are they're throwing a party for them to show off to their friends about how much money I have and look at this and it's the event of the century.
Sure.
So those parents are always, they're out there.
But
again,
I just wonder, is this couple just the worst,
True. Yeah. If my parents were paying a lot of money, I'm like, sure, let's go get a couple of photos.
Yeah. I hate when like family dynamics come to a head at a wedding.
Yeah.
Like I think it's hard. Like when there's like some past history probably with the parents, and I just think it's rough.
It is also a little bit of a weird thing because it sounded like the couple didn't want the wedding in the first place. So then to force them to get married and pay for it and then threaten to cancel on that payment when they didn't want it in the first place.
Right.
Maybe they wanted to elope. It's
See,
like,
force is interesting because I would say grow a spine. If you don't want it, don't get it.
Then don't get it.
Tell your parents, no, stand up for yourself.
yeah. I mean, there's some
You
pretty
spineless
crazy,
coward.
There's some pretty crazy parents out there.
Yeah, but you can dish it back out. Say, sorry, we're eloping.
That's true. Well,
This is good. We gotta have the different takes. I side with both. I think both are at fault.
you can side with both, and there's a lot going on here.
More times than not, I'll probably side with the couple on that one because I do think parents can be crazy controlling. But also, if you don't want it, no one's forcing you.
It's true.
Truly.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
All right. I was editing a reception edit for my couple. I had 3 cameras rolling during the only speech of the night. One on the speaker, one on the couple, one on guests. Somehow, when I went to combine them into a multicam, the footage didn't appear and I only saw a black screen but could hear the audio. It's that my computer couldn't recognize the files. I had to put B-roll over the A-roll to cover up the black screens and the camera shakes since I had to adjust the camera. I was expecting the speaker to stand up in one place and told the DJ to put him in a specific spot because my lights were already set up there. But then the DJ put the speaker in a completely different spot. So I had to adjust my lights and cameras, and I had to cover the light camera transition. Has never happened to me before. Yeah, I mean, classic.
Well, I have a lot of questions, actually.
Mainly, do you speak English?
Crazy.
I read this. I did you a lot of favors in how I read this story.
No, I have a lot of questions here. So the gist of the story, okay, the real meat is they filmed the speeches with 3 cameras. Wedding ends. Sounds like the footage was still captured correctly, right? But when they put it in a multicam, the multicam didn't register it and it was a black screen, okay? right?
Sure.
You can still edit a speech ceremony without a multicam. That's when you say, okay, if something's going on with the
Just
software, I'm not going to make a
Sync it
multicam.
the
I'm
hard
going to
way.
take each one manually
Yeah.
and put it in a timeline and do it manually.
Which takes 3 seconds.
So if that's the case, I have zero remorse, and that could have totally been avoided. You can still do it.
The worst part, yes, I agree. You learned. Also, let's problem solve what you do when they move from your lit spot. We had this happen recently.
Yep.
There was 2 speech givers at the same time, and they went to opposite ends of the room to speak.
Yeah.
We had one light.
Sometimes there were 3 people.
What do you do? Do you?
You throw your hands up in the air. You say, "Well,
Here's what I'd say you do. You turn it off spotlight mode and you just light the floor, right? Just light the floor. So we have a spotlight light and we have a floodlight for each scenario. And instead of going tight, you just have to do a wide shot. Do a full body wide shot so that as he walks, you're still capturing the whole thing as a safety. That way, if you need to be manning the light to follow him, at least you have a wide angle of the whole speech. Or if your light is a floodlight, you have your wide. That way you can use another camera to track him on a tight. In that situation, I would nix the guest shot and prioritize the speech giver, especially if there's only one shot or one speech.
yeah,
If there's only one speech, get the multi angles of that one person.
yeah." I mean, it's one of those things where it's like a moment captured is better than a moment lost. Like if you're trying to make sure all your settings are perfect and your white balance and your shutter and like whatever in the moment is happening in front of you, you're missing it. Like better to fix it in post however you can. So yeah, in this moment, just capture it however it is. If you only have a specific lens, make it wide. That might be what you have to do. Yeah, you just got to problem solve. I think that's what we've really dialed into is like what can make you a luxury filmmaker is being able to problem solve on the day of, and this is one of those specific examples. Sucks, but sometimes you just got to do it.
You also need to know that one of the best upsells, even if they didn't pay for it eventually or right up front, is the ceremony and or speeches edit. And so I always am thinking, okay, like, is this usable? Can I sell this to someone? Or is my angle my one angle of the speech giver going to be me adjusting the camera and the settings? That's why you have to have 2 angles of the same thing happening, because you have a speech angle, a couple angle, and a guest angle. But if you're adjusting one of those angles during a good part of the speech, you can't use it. It looks bad. And so Nate and I have this thing where like if I need to adjust, and I was shooting in Italy with Jay from JMac. He was second shooting for us, and the speech angle, it was awful. For the reception, it wasn't awful. Sorry if you're listening to this couple. It was fine. From a logistics standpoint, it was difficult because it was one long table, and the speech order was from one end to the other, back and forth. And the issue is the couple's in the middle. So depending on the angle of the speech giver, they were facing the couple every time. They would stand up and speak.
Yeah.
So the only good shot, because they're up against a wall, was the side angle, because you had a good bokeh, good depth. But depending on who was speaking, their back was to you or it wasn't. So we had to constantly go from one side, and it was gravel, so you had to walk around, you could hear it. It was a logistical nightmare, but Jay and I were looking at each other, and I knew when I adjusted my angle, he would go to the speech giver camera until I was set in place, done fidgeting. I would do it quickly. Once I was locked in, I'd be like, we're good, and then he would go right to the couple. Because we knew that the priority, that we wanted the couple's reaction, the priority was the speech, the person talking, because we knew they were paying to receive the footage of that person speaking. And is it nice to see themselves listening to that speech?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yes. But that the speech is what they're paying for.
Right.
Get this, prioritize the speech.
Because then you'll have something like this where you have to put a B-roll over the A-roll, and it's like
It's rough.
you're hearing a speech, but what you're seeing is a B-roll of the
Rough.
venue, and
Rough.
Just,
We had one story this summer where I didn't hit record on the main speech angle, and our third shooter was out getting drone, I think. It was kind of those like speeches are happening throughout the evening, not like in one specific time. So it's kind of hard to like have a solid setup ready to go at all times. And I didn't hit record. I thought I did. And I went back to check on that angle. And we're doing the same thing. We're doing a couple reaction and a guest reaction. And the speech angle for the first 5 minutes of this dad's 20-minute speech wasn't rolling. I freaked out because it was a good speech. And so the solution was we set up a wide angle in the back of the room to film the whole. It was a gorgeous shot.
Safety angle, yeah.
Showed the floral, showed the room, the tent, showed the speech giver. So we started rolling that. I was like, and I told Dallin, I was like, roll that angle.
Yeah.
And because the speech giver was so far away, still a beautiful shot. We could tell he was speaking. You couldn't see what his lips were saying because it was so far away, but it was a gorgeous shot. That was the first 5 minutes of his speech angle. Was that and the couple cam. And,
got the job done,
and it really worked.
Yeah.
But that was a good example to me of like adapt, fix the problem.
Then after that, it's always like, okay, I learned what I learned,
exactly,
and I am triple checking to make sure that camera is rolling.
That can never happen again.
Yeah, which things happen like that all the time.
Yeah,
unfortunate, but it does. Okay, last one here before our queue is cleared until you guys submit some more. We got a videographer with a bridal party nightmare.
Love it.
This happened during the reception. The bridal party is going crazy on the dance floor, and one of the bridesmaids bends over to twerk. And I guess she was throwing it back too much. She then had a wardrobe malfunction, and her behind was exposed, facing the guests. Not sure if others saw, but the rest of the bridal party quickly rushed over and corrected her dress. I love how they use the term throwing it back. Yeah. She was throwing it back too much.
I think she knew what she was doing, respectfully. I think she knew exactly what she was doing.
I guess we'll find out if anyone noticed from the photographer's gallery.
It happens.
It happens.
I'm always like, don't draw attention to things, and which you never said you did, but like in these examples, I always try to not draw attention to it. We've had wardrobe mishaps happen this year.
Yeah.
Where if it's an obvious, like people know something went wrong, if I can be that one person who shows that like I didn't care,
it didn't matter.
Not a big deal.
Pretend
move on.
It didn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Move on. It's okay.
Yeah.
Even if there's that one voice of reason, the
It's
couple
usually
appreciates that.
Yeah. I also think, from a guest's perspective, whether you're a groomsman or a bridesmaid, you should be well aware of what your limitations are in what you're dressed.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a nice suit that stretches, go for it.
Yeah.
If you're in a rigid suit, you got to be aware that you might pull one of those, Chris Farley rip the back of the suit moments.
We had a bride, I love this, Olivia, from our last wedding of the year. She, the reception started. It wasn't like a second look moment, but she just like wanted to party. So she just went and changed into a shorter dress with Vans, and she just went crazy.
Because she knew she couldn't dance as hard in her other dress.
She was comfortable.
Yeah.
It's all about comfort. You guys submit your stories. This was a good little submission form. Any hot takes you want to end on, Nathan, or?
You know my hot take.
Let's break it down. Why not?
Okay. So I think
Tanner, be very cautious what you put in this clip. Pass it off to me first to approve, because this is going to destroy some bridges.
So I think the VHS trend is stupid.
Oh my God. It's worse than I thought. He didn't preface
I really do.
He didn't.
I just don't like it. Me personally.
Wow.
Okay, if you like it, good for you. Like, I know there are people who are way more talented than me. They've been doing it longer than me. They love doing the VHS. I get it. Okay, I get it. For me personally, I just think it's not the move.
You said stupid.
I stand by it.
I love it.
So
Nate rarely
here's
pulls out the gun.
the thing. Super 8, if we're talking about like in generations, right?
Please.
Like we kind of got like this old vintagey look that I think we satisfied. We scratched the itch with the Super 8 with the nostalgia feel. Okay, because even like our generation, the generation below us, they think that looks vintage. And then there was this weird generation of the VHS, which is when you and I were growing up. And yeah, I look back very fondly of when I was growing up and, running down the hallway for Christmas morning. My dad's got the VHS. Those are really fun to look back at, okay? But that was kind of like this weird gap between really nostalgic film look to the really like digital, what we see now, 4K beauty.
Because the contrast was so obvious. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And so the argument now is that VHS is nostalgic for this generation of bride and grooms getting married, okay? I think wedding videos are going to be nostalgic no matter what. When you watch your wedding film, when I watched our bridals that was shot beautifully by you and Dallin on a red in 30 years, it's going to be nostalgic.
Right.
Okay? So I think by trying to go into like this VHS is like just kind of uncalled for. And I really don't think it has that good of a look to it that Super 8 wouldn't satisfy. Yeah, you do have sound, but then it's like, okay, so you want audio, but you want it to be nostalgic. Why not capture it beautifully and like throw in some cool Super 8 for the nostalgic moments? Maybe it's like sunset portraits instead of like trying to film an entire day on VHS, or, you know, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Okay. I like the take that the contrast, the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
That's a good way of saying it. Yeah.
There's not enough of a contrast in the nostalgia to the now. Whereas Super 8, you look like you're going back in time.
It's very much memory lane.
The times where I love VHS is when it pulls from like childhood footage.
Okay, that's what.
But it has the rec symbol, it has the date on there,
okay,
and it's truly a crappy VHS.
Okay, no, that's where I should specify. I do appreciate VHS footage if it is like the bride and groom in their era. So it's like, here's,
again, when put into the story right.
Right, so it's like, hey, by the way, we have VHS of us 20 years ago. That's dope. But what I'm talking about now is when people get VHS recorders and film the wedding on a VHS. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
So I think it is really cool when someone says, hey, I have all these, 20 years or, 20 hours worth of VHS of me growing up and my dad and mom, and that's cool.
What do you think is more stupid, VHS or content creation?
VHS. Actually, no, I take that back. Content creation.
Really?
Yeah.
Just goes in this maniacal burning of the VHS community, only to say that there's actually something even worse.
I'm just kidding. No, that was for the clip, guys. I love my content creators.
But I'll say to the same point, what we do now will be nostalgic.
It doesn't matter.
To your point,
yeah.
even on a red, but like iPhone right now is the VHS of 2025, in my opinion.
Yeah,
in the sense that in 20 years, when you watch your iPhone, you're like, the same way we look at iPhone 5 footage and photos and think, wow, that was such an old camera. We will think that with content creation. And that to me is the beauty of content creation.
Yeah.
Is that it's already dated because it's on the cheapest, most affordable camera of 2025. But for me, I agree. I think the payoff, the contrast of quality from a Super 8 to a 4K cinema camera is beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It shows
it's really pretty.
It shows this character, and you also know that Super 8. It's a lot of work.
It is
to process, to
develop,
film, to get the right gear.
Yeah, you gotta develop.
Which is my issue, and I'm very vocal about this with content creation. Is the barrier to entry is so easy. Same with VHS. I bought a VHS dad cam,
$20
on Amazon for this year because I wanted to film my daughter on a VHS.
Yeah.
So I was like, can it be fun to just throughout her life have a VHS camera? It's easy to point and shoot. I don't feel like I have to get my settings right. It's just like fun, but I wouldn't. I don't know.
No, I agree.
I don't know where I'm going with that story.
But again, like everything can be done in a tasteful manner, right? Like let's say there's a bride who had a very special VHS clip of her dad and her interacting with a kid, and like she wanted to like recreate that moment and has it available, and she like wanted. Let's say there's perfect example.
Okay.
Let's say a bride has a clip of her dancing with her dad when she was like 2 years old. Okay, and it's a really cute clip, and she's like, I want a very specific clip of me and my dad dancing on my first dance in VHS to contrast that. An argument could be made. It could be made in a very tasteful manner. Now, I would still be like, I would rather shoot this in 4K to show the time that's passed, but I can appreciate where they're going with that.
Yeah. So where do you think the line is drawn with a Super 8 being used on a wedding day that's still showing the bride and groom in the present on an old camera? Do you think the payoff is really just that it's a much older camera, so, it's much more tasteful?
Yeah,
call to nostalgia than a VHS.
It's a very intentional call to nostalgia. Whereas I feel like every time I've seen Super 8 used,
there's a lot of work went into it.
It's only very select moments, unless you're Tharp, who gets hired to shoot a Super 8 wedding on a gimbal for the whole entire day. That was a very specific thing. Other than that, you see people shooting and then just 5 seconds of Super 8. It's a very intentional call to nostalgia. I just think VHS is just the shotgun spread. I'm just going to film it all and like try to make it what it's not.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on VHS overlays?
I knew you were coming with that. I knew you were going to ask that.
I got to interview Nate more often. Nate has some fire in him. I'm always on the hot seat.
I knew you were going to ask about the VHS
I should
overlays.
sit here and listen and let us get canceled.
I knew you were going to ask about the VHS overlays.
Well, I think Russell saw the trend and he said, I'm gonna,
which is a great thing.
What's the word? Exploit people who like this trend.
The supply and demand, right?
Take their money.
No, Russell saw there was a demand for VHS. He made a really good overlay. I think that's
overlay.
Great. It's the best.
You know why it's a great overlay? Because it just makes your footage look crappy. which is the product.
You took great footage and you made it look crappy. But again, I think VHS overlays. I mean, frick. By the time people are listening to this, we'll probably make a VHS overlay. Have it if you want. We probably won't use it.
It's part of his plug-in pack. Has a slow shutter, black and white overlay, a VHS effect, Super 8. So it's kind of an all-in-one pack based on what you're vibing with.
Yeah. But again, like VHS overlays, it's the same thing as Super 8 overlays, which, by the way, we do sell. Link below. If you can get it on a Super 8, get it on a Super 8. If you can get it on a VHS, get it on a VHS. Overlays are always kind of like they're on the back burner. Okay. Kind of like a second thought.
I would argue, and you guys, this is on his website. You can see it in my view.
I would argue look better than the VHS.
VHS overlay.
No, I love. Yeah, Russell has great overlay
because it has this. It has the rolling.
Yeah.
The true. Okay.
But it's still really good footage.
The VHS clip. The VHSs I love are the tape VHSs.
Like when you see
the digital ones. The digital when
when you see the record.
Like you see it. You see the tape rolling.
Yeah, like that right there.
Like it is a rolling, warpy. You see it.
See, but what we're looking at right now,
that's nostalgia.
Yeah, that's nostalgia. But you can see with his overlay, it's still good footage. Like you can tell that is professional footage. A VHS would not look like that.
I think my issue is with I think this just hit on the head is digital VHSs.
See, I'm glad.
Did your parents have a VHS?
Oh, I loved.
Was it the big one?
Big clunky one.
The eye socket.
Yeah.
And it had the tape.
Had the tape you'd put in it.
You needed to convert it to video.
You clip it, little button, it comes out. You put in the tape. Yeah.
See, we have I bought the Amazon. I think it was like $50. Digital VHS.
Yeah.
Or not? It's not even VHS. It's a digital cam, handy cam. And I was watching the footage back, and it didn't even scratch the itch the way my childhood VHS stuff looks because it looks digital. It looks like I'm using my T2i with a kit lens.
It's just kind of
with a clunky zoom in and out. It's just whereas like this,
that you can see the tape rolling.
It looks like what he's doing. His overlay. I'll tell you what. Save yourself buying this pack. I'll tell you how to get this look. Add a Gaussian blur and increase it to 100%. Add warp stabilizer at 150%, and then add static. VHS.
There you go, VHS look. No, I just think it's a trend that.
Do you think? Here's my other thing.
Yeah.
As a couple, do you think they see this shot? And they think we've made so much progress.
That's the issue.
This is what we want?
We've made so much progress. We're like 4K, 6K, 8K. Let's go back to the dinosaur age. Again, if you want nostalgia, I think a better case is made for Super 8. For sure. Like,
Can I read you this take by Brandon Lee Films on Threads?
Yeah.
I saw it because KEJ came in firing. But he said, and he follows us, and I think he's a good guy, but here's his take. The trend I personally hate with a passion is Super 8 film in wedding videos. My biggest gripe with it is that it's a suboptimal acquisition format that no one actually enjoys. When's the last time you watched something shot on Super 8 that wasn't a wedding video? Also, art should be intentional. I think we've drifted far from the original reason the first person decided to incorporate Super 8 footage into a modern wedding film. It's become a glorified Instagram filter in 99% of wedding videos.
No, I disagree with that.
Fully.
100%.
KEJ had a good response. My family and I sat and watched 3 hours of Super 8 home footage of our family that was discovered after 40 years. I go back to that footage regularly. we're hired regularly for how we utilize Super 8 footage. Works marvelously for us, and they ratioed him on likes. So
Yeah.
and then he called them unicorns for that, which I disagree. I don't think KEJ are unicorns for that. I think that is the intentional art form that he's talking about. I think Super 8 is a very intentional style. I want to see, I'm okay with content creation and VHS and anything else that pops up, but the difference is, are you selling, is it an intentional thing?
That's the root of it.
And I think videographers, I think you're shooting yourself in the foot as a videographer if you can't offer all those things. You don't need to promote it. But I think if they hire us for video and they say, hey, by the way, can we have VHS footage in our video? I might not get it, but I'm like, yeah, like we could
hire someone out that
could bring some 12-year-old and
Uncle Bob.
have him walk around with the VHS. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's what you want and that's your vision. Like, we will make that happen. I was actually at this super luxury wedding in I was helping shoot it in Napa this year, and the groom himself, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He brought a VHS.
So cool.
To pass around. So that was so
cool.
important to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So not my vibe. But I was like, okay. And then we've had another wedding where they brought it, and that was and it was an intentional part of how they wanted to remember their video. Which I'm like, okay, great. But I think if it's like be careful here. If it's a way to try to be the next thing, I have a hard time with that.
Yeah. And again, this
what
is
were you
all
laughing at.
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
This
was
is
over here dying, head in his arm, while I was confounding the doctrines of the kingdom.
This is all to say with the context that what the planner, what the client, what the bride, what they want is going to be more important. So if someone comes to us and says, "Hey, we love Runaway Vows, we love this look. Here's a couple of your portfolio pieces that we really love and why we're hiring you." We're also wondering, could you do VHS? Like, yeah. Could you do Super 8? Yeah, we can figure out a way to make it work. It might not be exactly what we offer, but like we're going to make the clients happy.
I'm editing a wedding film right now where the couple requested I integrate their VHS footage into their film. And I'm like, okay, but like, again, the difference is why it works, in my opinion, why it works is because...
Don't they have VHS footage of them together?
Both. And I think the reason it works so well is because it's a very intentional, creative decision by the couple of like, here's how we want it to be.
Yeah.
Not like a forced...
Yeah. Yeah,
I think I actually also largely disagree with having a plug-in for
VHS.
Yeah, Russell, we'll have to talk to you about that. I think it's...
I mean, make the money, you know. If there's
we do Super 8.
We do
you know
Super
what?
8.
I don't actually.
Yeah, no, I get that bag, you know. No, going back to Brandon Lee, was that his name? Brandon Lee?
Yep.
Going back to his take, I think I 100% disagree with it. I don't think KEJ are unicorns. KEJ are just insane. Like all their weddings are crazy, but I mean...
They're top dogs.
I mean, KEJ, Larev, 31 Films, they all shoot Super 8.
Yeah.
So to say that KEJ is the unicorn, like, have that conversation with Larev and 31 Films. Like, you're going to find...
a handful of other people.
That are shooting the best weddings on the planet. So you're going to have a really open conversation only to realize I'm actually wrong.
Yeah, I think your world is not as small as you think it is.
And Super 8 to me is just the equivalent for a videographer as shooting film for a photographer. So if you have that take, then how do you justify photographers charging tens of thousands, sometimes even six figures
extra
to shoot digital, but also have a film that they're going through a film camera that they're shooting hundreds of rolls throughout the day?
You know what? Looking back on my wedding video, specifically how it was shot, I wish it was all in Super 8 because like it's so dated. And I'm like, if I'm gonna have it be dated, I'd rather be a Super 8 than just kind of like a shaky handheld digital.
Yeah, because like how yours was shot, it was on what was it, Rebel? Was it like a T2?
I think it was like a 5D Mark III or something.
But how they shot it was just like very
just
handheld.
shaky. And it was just, but that was the vibe. That was the
vibe.
trend when we booked it. And we love it because it's ours. But like looking back now, I'm like nostalgia wise, I think I'd rather just lean into like, let's go. But then we met, I don't even know if he wants me to say this, so we won't say his name, but we met this really prominent creator who had his whole wedding shot in Super 8. And he wishes he would have done
digital.
More of like a story and more polished.
I mean, I
and
think,
had that as kind of like a side thing.
I think what's always going to be the meta is shooting that is in the highest capability of the day you're living in.
Sure.
And mix it with maybe some Super 8
Yeah.
or like your parents' generation, you know?
So you don't think VHS will ever be in the same repertoire as what Super 8 is to
I'm
us
already
now?
kind of backpedaling on what I just said. I think...
But I agree. I don't. I think there's always these leaps forward in style, and there's always those
lulls. It's just like the
where
iPhone.
they're trying to get there.
Right? Well, it's just like, think about the iPhone. Like, there's like the iPhones that were great, and then it was like, oh, this couple year of iPhones were kind of crappy, and then you got the 12, which then led to the 13, which was like, and then, you know, so there's lulls. Yeah. And I think VHS was just like an era that was, I mean, it was fine, but when you compare it against Super 8 and then the digital era, it's a valley. It's not a peak.
I agree. And I also stand on my idea that I like the VHS tape look. I think that is nostalgic to me, not the digital
VHS.
Digital handycam look.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Emma made a video of her life, like a personal life story,
really
using
cool.
a dad cam. We call it the dad cam. But like it was so vibey, but it wasn't to me like nostalgic.
Right.
It was just like
Just kind of like
it was just a crappy personal
homemade video.
Yeah, homemade. It was cute, like, you know what I mean. But
yeah,
no, I agree. I like the take. It's a hot one. Came out swinging. And you backed it up pretty well.
Yeah, I tried. I've been thinking about it.
Scared me first, especially knowing our history and our situation.
But hey, if there's a need for it,
Tanner, how about you collaborate with Nate Tian Film on this, this clip?
Please don't.
Just see what happens. Let's light this candle.
Yeah.
Great.
Anyway.
Well,
wow. I think the take turned out longer than the previous episode.
That was better than the episode. That was my favorite part.
I didn't see it going that way.
Okay, Russell has some banger. We won't promote him too much. We got to revamp our store here. It is clean.
No, he's got great stuff.
I actually love his product boxes.
They're so good.
Okay, I have something to do tonight.
No, he's got great stuff.
All right, guys.
That's
if you want to submit a story,
104.
link it below. We'll link all of our assets, all of our Super 8 add-ons and our overlays.
And the newly formed VHS overlay.
Coming on Wednesday is the VHS Overlook, which, as I said before, it's Gaussian blur at 150%, warp stabilizer at 400%, and a little bit of static, a little sizzle. Ooh. And then I might even add like a rolling shutter just because.
Maybe. Why not?
And you toss it over your beautiful footage and then
make
just
it look crappy.
Yeah. Okay, well, you guys, see you next week.